and welcome to Salesforce's Release Readiness Live for Winter 16. Thanks for joining us, whether you found us at the beginning of your day, the end of it, or anything in between. Hi, I'm Mike Torres, and it's my pleasure to be back again as we help have conversations to take a look in some of the latest and greatest from our Sales Cloud. Now, it's hard to believe that Winter 16 is already upon us, but we love this time of year here at Salesforce. It means that we just wrapped on another successful Dreamforce, and that means we've got lots of features and improvements that we've been making over the past year that we get to share with you here today. Now, if you've never joined us for Release Readiness Live before, first, thanks for watching. The purpose of today's session is to take the release notes that you've already read and bring them to life with deeper dives and live discussions. And since we are live here in Salesforce Studios today, I do have 4 members of our product management team to help discuss the Sales Cloud with you today. Now, we'll get to meet them in just a second. But before we meet the experts of whom you'll be asking those questions, let's find out how we'll be asking questions of them. And to explain that and more, we have the Success Community's own, Elna Miller. Hey, Elna.
Hey, Mike, thank you. Welcome, everybody. I'm Elna Miller. I'm one of your community managers in the Success Community. Please ask your questions on Twitter in the Success Release Readiness group in the Success Community at success.salesforce.com, or even on the social stream, which is right on your page that you're watching this video on right now. And remember, we have a no question left behind policy, so please do post your questions and shout outs with the hashtag Salesforce Live, and we will answer questions live or within the next few days. So Mike, let's get on with the exciting stuff today.
Aha, thanks Elna. Now, but before we get to the main event, there are a few final pieces of logistics that we do need to cover. First, as we mentioned, everything in this session is going to be particular to our Sales Cloud. You could join us a little bit later today for everything that we have on our App Cloud with the Service and Community Clouds tomorrow. But regardless of your schedule, if you go to www.salesforce.com/release readiness, you'll be able to find both the full-length and bite-sized clips of all of our offerings there for you. Great. But as a final item before we get started, we are going to be discussing some very new items that we have to offer, and also some items that are very forward-looking on our product roadmap. So to make sure that we properly set our expectations there, we need to review Salesforce's Safe Harbor slide. Now, if you're unfamiliar with this slide, what it asks is that as we'll be discussing our product roadmap, please ensure that you make all purchasing decisions based around current functionality only. Great. So without any further ado, I'd like to pass things on to our very own Meredith Brown.
Great, thanks. Hi, everybody. I'm Meredith Brown. I'm one of the directors in product management here in the Sales Cloud, and I work on leads and campaigns.
And I'm Robin Groschel, also a director in the product management group, and my area of focus is opportunity management.
And I'm Andy Kong, product manager for the Sales Cloud. I'm responsible for a new note-taking experience in Salesforce, which you'll see in a little bit.
Hi, and I'm Dave Louie, another director of product management here at Salesforce, and I cover task management.
Great. So we're super excited today to talk to you about Lightning Experience. This is our big news for Winter 16. We hope you've heard about it. We're super excited to share some of those features today, talk through how it works, give you some great demos, and also give you a glimpse of what's coming in the future. Lightning Experience is a journey. We're super excited about what we have to share today, and there's much more coming in the future. So without further ado, let's get started and look at what we have to offer. So with Lightning Experience, it's really a whole new experience for sales reps. So as product managers, a lot of what we do is we talk to sales reps all the time. And when we wanted to build a new experience, we thought about how can we do that for the sales rep? How can we really think through their mindset, what they need to do to sell faster, to sell smarter, and to sell the way they want? And so we came up with 55 new screens, 25 new features, which a lot of them you'll see today. And we're super excited about this journey and really getting to a point where your sales reps love to use their CRM. Let's take a look at one of the key features, which is the home experience. So when you log into Salesforce as a sales rep, you have a beautiful new experience that's personalized based on your performance. We have great interactive charts that are going to help you stay focused on your quota. You can set goals, be as aggressive as you want, and you can really track your performance. And the other great thing that we have is this assistant here. And the assistant is really smart. And the assistant helps you keep focus on your tasks that you need to focus on today. Perhaps you have a new hot lead that's come in, or you have some opportunities that need attention. It's going to tell you that, and it's going to bring those front and command center. And so we've kind of used all of the insights that you as users have told us about the things you need to focus on, and we've filled them there in the assistant. And over time, you can personalize that and you can make it your own. We feel like it's a great experience to help your reps stay focused. And we've also added insights here. So if you have an account, a key account that has some really exciting news out there, or industries that you work in, those insights are going to be pushed forward, and that's going to give you a great way to start a conversation with your customers. And now let's look at some of the features around leads. Because I'm the product manager around leads and campaigns, I want to talk to you about the lead workspace. And what we love about this workspace is an idea that we brought to both leads and opportunities. It's a way where you can really drive process, you can drive productivity, and your reps can collaborate. So we wanted to give you an experience where you could move those leads through qualification in a really process-driven approach. Give you a workspace that can help you boost productivities, a clear place where you can log your calls, create those new events, do your email, and then additionally collaborate through feeds, through files and groups. And we feel like this workspace is a great way to do that. And we know that you love the sales path for opportunities. It's a feature that we brought, one of Robin's favorite features.
That's right.
In summer 15, and available on Salesforce 1. And we knew we wanted to bring this to the desktop, but we thought, why not just do that for opportunities? Leads have a process. We know that our customers want to bring their leads through different types of sales process. So let's do that. Let's give them a way to work and qualify leads faster. So the nice thing is if you do have a process from the time a new lead comes in all the way to conversion, you can set up those statuses in a nice visual format, and you can prompt your reps to focus on the right things when they get that new lead, when they're working it, perhaps if they're moving it to nurturing. You can set that process up based on how your organization does it, and then you can deliver relevant content where they want. So if you want to link them out to best practices or a chatter group that really helps them be successful, you can do that all through the sales path for leads. And we feel like that's really going to help you quickly onboard reps, and it's going to help you enforce your company sales process. And then lead convert. We know that the current experience in Salesforce Classic gets the job done, but we wanted to bring you a new, fresh experience that's streamlined, it's simple, it's really user-friendly, that allows you to convert your leads to contacts, create new opportunities. And the great thing, if you tuned in for the Summer 15 release where I demoed a lot of the deduplication features for lead convert, all of those are going to be available on the desktop experience as well. So great. Without any further ado, let's go in and take a look. Let's do a demo of some of those features in action. So here I am on my home page, and like I mentioned here, I can see my quarterly performance. I can know this is the beginning of the quarter, so I haven't quite closed enough, but I know where I need to go. I know how much I have open, and I know what my goal is. And it looks like I'm making really good progress. So if I want to go in and be super aggressive and add a couple other 100,000, 200,000 to my quarterly performance, I can do that. And I can see exactly what's slated to close when. Really helps me keep on track where I need to go with my quarterly performance. And here's that assistant. So you can see that I have a few tasks that are open today. I need to follow up on this lead, I need to send some pricing, and I have an updated proposal that I owe Linda. And I also can see some new leads that have come in, and also those opportunities that haven't had any activity for 30 days. So these are all things that we've heard from our users and we've brought forward in the assistant, and over time you'll be able to make that your own. And here are those great account insights. So let's say Twitter is an account that you're working on, and there's been some news out there recently with Twitter. That's going to come forward. And any other industries, and if you want to drill into view them all, you can do that. Also, your most recently used records are going to be here, as you would expect, and your top deal. So as a sales rep, you want to know which deals are going to bring in the dough. Here you go. They're right here on that home screen. So let's go in and look at one of our tasks. So we needed to follow up on this lead, Adam. So let's drill in and look at Adam's record. So here we have the lead workspace. This area up here, your highlights panel, brings in key information, and that's directly from your compact layout on your lead. So you can make that your own if there's a certain field that you want to make sure is highlighted. As an admin, you can certainly do that. Here we have our sales path, so you can expand or collapse it. And so when I expand it, I can see the key fields that I need to think about when I have a new lead and any guidance for success. And also here's my publisher. We like to call it the publisher because it's one area where you can really be productive. You can log your calls, you can create new tasks, you can create new events, and you can also do all of your email. And then the other thing that we've heard loud and clear from our users, especially our sales reps, is when I'm looking at a lead or I'm looking at an opportunity, I need to know where have I been with this and where do I need to go next. So you can see that this lead got assigned to me yesterday, and now I have a couple tasks to do. I need to follow up, start the qualification process, and then after I make contact, I probably need to add them to a nurture program just to make sure that we're moving that lead forward. So let's go in and look at our sales path because that's a great way to start working that lead. So here's my new lead. I have some key information here, the company, the website, what industry, and again, this is going to be configurable to your sales process. So whatever lead statuses you have set up, whatever fields you want to bring forward, you get to do that. It's completely customizable, and any guidance for success. So here we're just reminding them to do their research, to visit the lead's website, but you may have other best practices that you want to add in. And as I work through that lead, I can move it to the different stages. So as I start working it, I have an additional set of information that I need to think about. Make sure all the contact information is correct. Email my lead, make sure my call scripts are right. And if things are going well with Adam and we're able to get to a point where we can qualify that lead, I can start the conversion process right here from the sales path, which is a really nice feature. And you can see that, let's say we had a really good conversation with Adam and he's qualified for the 2016 product line. Any converted statuses that you have configured are going to come through in this module. You'll have the ability to maintain the record owner, or if you want to change it to someone else, you're passing it off to another rep, you can certainly do that. And because we knew that Adam was part of Biospan, that company name on the lead, we actually found that we have a Biospan account here, and we were able to pre-populate that. If you have multiple accounts, then you'll have to choose, but in this case, we were able to find the one we needed. But the other nice thing is if you needed to go in and search, you can certainly do that, or you can go through a flow to create a new count, and it's going to respect all of your layouts, all of your record types that you have created there. So let's continue with our conversion. So we've determined the converted status. We're going to keep the record owner, and it's going to be part of this biospan. So I want to create a new opportunity here. It's going to be 212,000, and all I need to do is go through and convert the lead. So the nice thing is, if you did have a duplicate contact or a duplicate account when you went through, all of that's going to be respected. So I'm not showing it today because I showed it for summer, but I rest assured that all is going to be supported. So that concludes my demo for today. I'm curious what questions some of our audience members might have.
All right. That's me, I guess. So one question that I think a lot of people are wondering about is how can you personalize that homepage, or how do you make it your own?
So there's a couple of ways. With the Lightning App Builder, which I'm sure a lot of people will be hearing, that will give you a way to move things around on the homepage. And then over time, it will become smarter and smarter, so you can pull in different types of activities, different types of filters. You can sort of suppress what's coming in. For example, say you never work leads in your organization, it wouldn't make sense for that to come through. So that will become more and more customizable over time.
And actually, Eric Jacobson, who's the product manager for that area, I think he comes on right after us, so he can go a lot deeper on that.
He will.
Yeah, right. Absolutely.
All right. So Paul on Twitter has a question. Speaking of respecting everything in terms of configuration, customization, what about validation rules specifically?
Absolutely. So even within the sales path, it will respect those validation rules.
Right. Excellent. So what about lead convert with duplicate management? Is that something that's covered? And how
Yeah, absolutely. So just like we introduced in summer 15 on Salesforce 1 in the classic experience, any rules that you've set up for other leads, for contacts, and for accounts will be supported during the lead conversion process. So you may have an alert rule just to say, hey, we have a duplicate here, but you can continue going forward. Or you may have a rule set up that says, I want to block this convert from going through. We respect all of those rules that you set up, and we give the user a nice experience to manage those duplicates.
Great. Now, there's a couple of related questions about lead conversion functionality. So one is, can you still create tasks when you convert a lead?
We actually took tasks out of the flow. We found that a lot of users weren't using it, and they found that it cluttered the experience, and they often had a completely different process for doing that. And because we've had such a huge focus on productivity and task management, some new experiences to do that, we felt like it was best to kind of change tactics a little and not include it as part of the conversion process.
Great. And that was from Cody. And then Carol is asking, does lead convert allow for assigning record types when converting?
No, that's one area where we want to provide better support. Customizing lead convert is a huge idea out there. We know you guys want it. The nice thing with the things that we've put in place so far with this new experience, I feel like we're that much closer to being able to give you a fully customized experience with more control over record types. Another thing that a lot of users have asked for is, suppressing opportunities or enforcing that an opportunity is present, and more of a page layout type of experience for lead convert. And rest assured, we know you want it, and it's something that we're thinking a lot about.
Great, thank you. And anything special you need to know about integration tools working with Lightning in terms of if let's say you're using data loaders, one of the data loaders on the App Exchange or Salesforce data loader to bring in leads, is there a different way you'd have to configure those, or they work the same?
I mean, as long as it's sort of hitting our APIs and hitting our platform, there's no concerns. Lightning Experience is built on our platform, so we're reading all of that data from our core platform, so there shouldn't be any issues there.
All right, I'm refreshing the page one more time, and I think we'll take what a couple people are saying. They're very excited and they really appreciate the content that you're providing today. Rakesh is very excited. And Anthony
Rakesh.
Also from higher education is looking forward to campaign staffing. And
campaigns is something that will be coming in a later release. So leads and campaigns do tend to go together very well from a process perspective. My team is working on that, and we're going to be bringing a nice, fresh experience for campaigns to Lightning Experience.
Okay, Drew has an interesting question, which I'm pretty sure you can answer pretty quickly. You specifically called out desktop for this, particularly the sales path. Does this extend to mobile?
It does for opportunities. Unfortunately, leads isn't there just yet, but we will be bringing it to Salesforce 1 at some point in the future. But opportunities, of course, it's there.
So shall we continue with questions, or do you want to move on to Robin?
I think we're ready to move on, and if there are more questions at the end of the session, we will have time for those, so keep them in mind.
All right.
But thank you so much to Meredith Brown for bringing us up to speed on all the latest and greatest Salesforce has to offer in the lead space. And thank you especially for ending things by talking about lead conversion, because now that we've converted a lead, we're ready to talk about some deals. And to bring us up to speed on that, we've got Robin Groschel.
Thanks, Mike. Well, that will be a tough act to follow. Just such amazing innovation in the area of lead management, and I'm here to talk to you about how we've taken that same approach to really enhance the experience for accounts, contacts, and opportunities. So Meredith showed you the lead workspace, and we took that same approach to opportunities. It's really an action-oriented place for reps to manage their deals. You've got the sales path, of course, which provides you the ability to share guidance and highlight key fields for sales reps. And we, Meredith mentioned this as well, we got such great feedback on sales path in mobile that there was just a huge demand to bring this to the desktop experience. And so we've done that. You can do all of your kind of opportunity management and activity management right from the opportunity workspace, whether it's creating tasks, logging calls, setting up meetings. And you're not going to have to jump back and forth between pages to do that. It's all in one place, which is awesome. And let's see what's next. So sales path, just to kind of go one level deeper on this. It's going to read from your opportunity stages. So stage pick list values that you have set up are automatically going to be displayed visually across the top of your opportunity workspace. And then optionally, what you can do is go in and configure, an administrator can go in and configure fields and guidance that they'd like to appear. So this is kind of a give and take. We really want to encourage reps to populate key fields at certain stages in the sales process. So whether it's the opportunity amount or custom fields like what's the customer's or the prospect's budget amount, those are the kinds of things we want to remind reps to be populating. But we also want to give them and help them out in the process as well. And that's where guidance is so important. These can be things like tips and tricks, lessons learned, links to files or data sheets. And so we definitely encourage you guys to take a look at Sales Path and really configure it and tailor it as much as possible to your org. You'll be able to do that for each stage per record type. And then accounts and contacts have a whole new experience as well. And we really call this more of a reference layout. Unlike leads and opportunities, where it's really an action-driven workplace, what we found in talking to hundreds and hundreds of sales reps out there is that when they go to an account and contact, they're going to find information. They're going to do research. And so the layout is tailored to that. You've got a lot of space for related lists, and you have the same great activity timeline that you have on leads and opportunities. It's just in a more narrow view. And in the future, if that's not the case for your organization, Eric is going to talk to you a little bit later about how eventually you'll be able to customize each page to best match your business process. And we also have brought social insights with things like news and Twitter to accounts and contacts, and I'm going to demo that for you in just a moment here. And here we go again, sorry, insights. So we're going to be able to share you the latest news on your accounts. As Meredith mentioned, this is your recent accounts. You can go to any account page within the Lightning experience and see news articles about that account or about the industry in which that account operates. You see this also on the home page, as Meredith showed you. And our goal here is to prevent reps from having to go do research outside of Salesforce. We're trying to bring that relevant information to them where they do their work in Salesforce, saving them time and ultimately making them more productive. Okay, so with that, let me do my favorite part here, which is to demo. Always fun. Okay, so we are looking at the biospan opportunity that actually Meredith created when she converted that lead. And we're going to imagine a little bit of time has passed since that lead conversion, and now here we are on the opportunity workspace. Much like leads, we have the same great highlights panel at the top of the page where we've got the key fields that we want to highlight. And we also have actions where we can edit, where we can delete, clone, and any other actions that we've set up on the page, like maybe submitting for approval. Again, completely customizable by the administrator. We have Sales Path, where we've got that visualization of the sales process. And I'll go ahead and expand this. Here within needs analysis, the administrator has determined that the reps really should be thinking about who's the competitor, who's the contact, do we have the right contact email, and also has populated some questions for the rep to be mindful of. Who are we selling to? Is this high volume, low volume? What's their typical sales cycle, etc.? Again, completely customizable by the administrator. Maybe I want to pull in a first call deck that the reps have quick access to. So to do that, I just click this link. It's going to bring up this awesome previewer, pulling in this chatter file, and I'll have that readily available. What I also love about Sales Path, and this is new for Lightning Experience, is the fact that when I hover on any stage, I can see how many days this rep has been in this stage. So for needs analysis, we've been working at 5 days, pretty quick sales cycle. But this is going to be hugely powerful where you see a lot bigger numbers here. And as a sales manager, if I'm seeing that a rep has been in needs analysis for, 45 days, depending on your sales cycle, this really is a cue for me to jump in and understand, maybe they're getting stuck. How can I help? So great visibility right here on the opportunity. And when I'm ready, I can mark the stage as complete. I'll be dropped into the next stage in the process, which is proposal quote, This is demo data, so I haven't been in here in eight days, but I was playing with this earlier. And so I've got a different set of fields and a different set of guidance to help me be successful in that stage in the process. Okay, so that's sales path. Now let's talk a little bit about the activity timeline. So if I scroll down the activity timeline, I can see next steps and past activity. As Meredith mentioned, this is just so awesome. We heard time and again from hundreds of reps that the key thing that they need to know when they're working their deals is what happened last on this account and what's coming up next. And that's exactly why this page was created to look like this, to really highlight that information so I can see quickly. We had a lunch, we reviewed requirements, we discussed pricing, whether it's a call, an email, a task, you name it, all of that's going to be automatically logged. And I can see the next step. So I need to send a white paper. And what's great is this is actionable. So when I've sent that white paper, I can click that and just complete it right from here. And the next time I look at this page, it's going to show up under past activity. Really awesome stuff here. Now let's take a look at some of the other tabs. So we've got the activity timeline. We've got collaborate. This is my chatter feed, which we all know and love. These are the details. So any fields in addition to those on the highlights panel here, this is where all of those other fields are going to go. And again, you can determine what you want to appear here. On the right are all of our related lists. Now, you might be thinking, gosh, we've got all these related lists set up in our classic UI. What are we going to have to do to get this to show up here? And the answer is nothing. This comes over automatically. So depending on the order in which you've set up your related lists in the classic user interface, they're going to show up just like that here in Lightning from top to bottom. So I've got contact roles, the products that I've added to this opportunity, notes, which by the way are awesome, and Andy's going to tell you all about that in just a bit here, any files, as well as any other related lists that you might have. So let's take a look at something else here. So we talked about the opportunity workspace, but I also want to touch on accounts and contacts here for just a minute. So one of the first things that I want to point out is by clicking on an account or a contact in an opportunity, I don't actually have to even go to that record in Salesforce. Here again, we're bringing information to the rep so that they can be effective, productive, without clicking around in the application. So we can see other opportunities associated with this account, other cases, so I'm informed if I'm going to call into them and know, have more of a 360-degree view of what's going on at this org. So, but if I do want to do a little bit more of a deeper dive, I can click into the account. And this is the account layout. And again, this is more of a reference layout. It looks a lot different than the lead and opportunity that we showed you earlier. It's got the same great highlights panel at the top. And of course, it's got all of those action buttons here. But the related lists really take on a lot more prominence here. Again, because you're coming to an account or contact to go get information. Account Insights is a great example of that. So I might be, having a meeting at BioSpan and I want to be up to date on what's going on with them. And so we're bringing to you news articles about BioSpan or the industry. So I've got all this rich news, again, saving me from having to research that information. Let me just go back here. And then I've got all of the other related lists as well, of course. I've got Twitter, I've got contacts, opportunities, cases, you name it. And this is interesting. This is SAP orders. So we don't have an SAP orders object in Salesforce. So what's this all about? Well, this is more good news. This is a custom object that was set up for this company. And custom objects come into the Lightning experience as well. So really excited about that. I'm actually going to just drill into one so you can get kind of a feel for this. So here's an example of a custom object record. I've got the details. I can optionally set up that activity timeline so I can see what's going on with this record, as well as any related information. Okay, so we'll go back to the account here. And then on the right, of course, we've got the activity timeline. Activities and collaboration via chatter are still really important, but they're really more of a secondary use case. And so we've given them a little bit less real estate again and more of a narrow view. And in the future, if you wanted to kind of invert that and have the activities to have more real estate and put the related lists on the right, like the lead and opportunity workspace, you'll have that capability. All right, so let's take a look at one of these contacts. Let's actually drill into Linda. And what I want to show you here is that a contact looks a lot like an account. It's got that same layout where the related lists have a lot of real estate here. Now, one thing we didn't talk about, which I'll show you here, and this is true for how you're going to edit all Salesforce records in the Lightning experience, is the edit feature. And so you can edit, let's say, I come into, Linda has a different phone number. I can make that change and save. And so that edit will hold true whether you're on account, a contact, an opportunity, a lead. That's how you're going to interact with records in Salesforce. And with that, hopefully I've given you a good tour of accounts, contacts, and opportunities and the awesome enhancements we've made in Lightning Experience.
Great, thanks, Robin. I like a lot of what you showed me because so much of what you showed, people used to have to expend so much more manual effort to achieve that.
Yes.
So I'm sure there are a lot of people who are thrilled to have seen what you just said.
Yep.
But rather than just assume that, let's go to Ellen and find out what people are saying.
Oh, Mike, we are really cooking out on Twitter right now, I tell you.
Our way.
We'll try to get to as many questions as we can, but they are pouring in. There's lots of excitement, lots of questions, lots of interest. So let me start with account insights because we have a few questions about that. One is, can we connect to other multiple websites for account insights like Yelp or Facebook or anything else that provides news?
At this time, the account insights is not customizable, where you're not able to add additional news sources. Although, this is a great opportunity. If this is a really important feature for your organization, let us know. Certainly post an idea. You know that we take customer ideas very seriously. So let us know, and we'll consider it for the future.
Thanks. And a related question from Sergio. Hi, Sergio. How does Account Insights decide what news to bubble up to the top or to display in?
It looks at the account, and it also looks at the industry that account works in. And right now we're using Yahoo, we're using RSS feeds, and we're using Twitter as really the key sources from which the account news is pulling.
Great. Let's see, Christopher, when viewing case-related list in Lightning Experience, so in the service area, can you filter to only see open cases?
That is a great question, and I don't know the answer offhand. I don't believe so, but that's a great question. Maybe we could talk to Eric about in the session immediately following.
We can, if you post that, we'll be following up with all the questions and post a reply in Twitter wherever you posted your questions.
Perfect.
After today. And Reba, are there any examples of an account hierarchy with Lightning?
Not yet, but that's something that we're actively working on. As Meredith mentioned, Lightning is really a journey. This is one big step forward in this journey, and you're going to see more and more features and functionality coming to Lightning in the coming releases, and I suspect account hierarchy and hierarchies elsewhere in Salesforce will be coming.
All right, excellent. And Emily just wants to start designing her new homepage.
Awesome. I don't blame her.
And someone has heard that JavaScript buttons will not be supported in Winter 16. Is that
great question for Eric a little bit later on the platform.
Can you, let's see, I think you answered the question about customizing account insights, correct? That one. So Anthony, hopefully that answered your question. And Rob is asking, what tool is compiling historic stage days?
What tool? Okay, great question. So that question is about on the sales path. Let's actually drill into the sales path. And it's the little hover, the number of days. So we actually wrote some new code for this. So this is our own code. It is cumulative. So what's nice is if you were, and that's why you saw 8 days here. So if I went forward in the sales cycle, spent a couple of days in that, and ultimately came back, we'll keep a running count of those days in stage. So it's really, really accurate.
All right, cool. Can you use code to auto-convert leads in the new Lightning experience so users don't have to do it manually?
That's a great question. I'm not sure if Mary.
I believe actually the follow-up session to this actually will cover a little bit of the programmatic aspects of
awesome.
Lightning Experience. So
Great.
that might be a question that's better left for
I will mark that one.
Well,
for
Lead
that.
Convert is API accessible, so we do have a lot of customers that are building their own Lead Convert experience on top of our APIs, and of course, as part of the platform, that would still be supported.
Now, speaking of customized lead conversion experience, if a customer has a very customized lead process, what would your recommendation be in terms of migrating to Lightning, timing-wise, what they should be researching and looking
I would
out for?
love to know what their specific requirements are. There is an idea exchange topic on lead conversion where we've had customers vote up and vote down what's most important. I would love to get that out to everyone on the broadcast and have them provide their specific feedback about what features they need to help us prioritize what to tackle next.
Great, Ella. I think that might be something we can flag to follow up on at the end of this session if we have time to. But in the interest of making sure that we're giving an equal amount of love to all of our sessions.
More good stuff to come.
Exactly, there is more good stuff to come. So we've already covered how to, to handle the right experience in the journey as pertains to leads and opportunities and account insights. But there is more to that journey also. There are actions to be taken along the way. And to talk about Salesforce's approach to productivity in the Lightning experience, we have Andy Kung.
Thanks, Mike. In Meredith and Robin's demo, you saw how a sales rep can effectively manage their deals, their records in the new Lightning experience. Now in Winter 16, we also built a set of productivity features that further helps your end user get more things done quicker. Now today I'm going to specifically cover a new note-taking experience, a new email composing experience, a improved task experience, and a new calendar UI. We are inspired by a lot of consumer productivity apps that your sales user already loved to use and already familiar with. We want to bring that ease of use into Salesforce, and we also want to optimize for sales scenarios. So our goal is really to build something that your end user love to use, and hopefully, in turn, that will also help you increase your Salesforce adoption as well. So let's take a look at a new note-taking experience. Now, today there are a lot of great note-taking apps out there, but the problem is that they're not usually very well integrated with Salesforce. I know a lot of sales users, they actually use their own personal account for their third-party note-taking app to take notes, and at the end of the day, they manually copy and pasting those information back into Salesforce, right? We can do better, right? So we want to bring that consumer-like note-taking experience into Salesforce, but not just that, we want to optimize for sales use. So in the new note-taking experience in Salesforce, you can expect things like rich text. You have autosave, so all your notes are gonna be automatically saved. There's not gonna be any save button. But not just that, you can decide whether you want to keep that note private to yourself or relate that note to not just one, but multiple Salesforce records that you're working on. So you also have context in your notes. Next is a new email experience. Our goal is to create a seamless email experience whether you're working inside of your favorite email inbox or inside of Salesforce. So in Winter 16, on every record page, we actually built a brand new email composer. So you can send out an email right there and then, right on the record page. Not only that, you can use rich text formatting. You can directly attach a file from Salesforce right there. You can even create email templates. And all the emails that you send out are automatically logged and appears in the activity timeline that you saw earlier. We also improved the task experience. For starters, we surfaced tasks as a top-level concept. So now you can quickly access a list of your tasks directly from the left navigation menu. We also built a master detail layout so you can see more on the screen. So for each task, you can see exactly what the details are for that particular task without navigating away. And if the task is about opportunity, just one click away. And you can quickly edit a task, add a comment, update the due date right from that one screen as well. So it really saves you a lot of time to power through your task in the new Lightning experience. And last but not least, we have a brand new calendar UI. That's right, you heard it correctly. We built a brand new calendar UI in Salesforce. And our goal really is to help you better manage your events in Salesforce, right? So you can expect things like, switching between the week view, the day view, hover over on an event to get a glimpse of what that event's about without navigating away and things like that. So let's, with that said, let's see all these in action.
So let's take a look at a demo.
Yep. All right, so let's continue our scenario. So earlier on, we have a opportunity, BioSpan. So let's say I'm in a meeting with BioSpan, and I want to take some meeting notes. Now on the left navigation menu, you're gonna see a notes icon, and that's gonna take you to a list of notes that you have. So here you're gonna see a 2-column layout. On the left side, you have a list of your notes. You can see some text previews there, so it's easy for you to find what that note is about. On the right side, there's inline editing, right? So you can just click in there and then start editing your notes. So let's say I just sat down at the meeting. I want to create a new meeting notes. I create new, and I type meeting with BioSpan. And the first thing you're gonna notice that this note is auto-saved, right? So it appears on the left side on the notes list, and I can do some rich text formatting, like let's add a couple bullet points. So for example, I wanna email the proposal deck. I need to schedule a follow-up meeting, right? And again, all this information are auto-saved as you saw that little saved indicator in the lower left corner. So let's say I'm done with a meeting, and at this point, I can choose to keep this note private to myself. So right now, this is a private note, only I can see it. Or if I can share this with my team, I can relate this single note to multiple Salesforce records. So in the related field, I can say, hey, this is related to the BioSpan account. I can relay that to the opportunity that we just created, the BioSpan, and I can relate to more things, including custom objects if I wanted to, right? So what does this mean? This means that your colleagues who also have access to these records, they can see, hey, Andy created a meeting note for this opportunity. You can take a look. So let's actually go into the opportunity. So let's go back to BioSpan. Opportunity, and then on the right side, you're gonna see, because I related that same note to this opportunity, it's gonna show up under the notes related list, right? So you're gonna see the same note experience from here. You're going to get the same autosave in this experience as well. So very cool stuff. Now, one of the things that we wanted to do, one of the action items, is to email the proposal deck. And because I'm in the opportunity, I wanted to do it right from this record. And I can do that now in Winter 16. So you're gonna notice there is a email tab in the activity section. So if I go into email tab, I can directly type in the name of the contact, and it's gonna give me some auto suggestions. So I wanna send this to Linda. And this is the proposal deck. And again, I can create some rich text here. So I say, hi, Linda, great meeting, Andy. And I can do some rich text formatting right from this composer. And I can directly include the proposal deck that I have stored in Salesforce as well. So let's say this is the deck that I want to include, the PDF file. I can directly attach it here. And I can email it out and send. And right after the email is sent, the email is automatically logged and it appears in the timeline, right? Awesome. So it really saved me a lot of time to log in the activity. Now, one thing that we built for the email experience is that you can also create your own email template. So it actually save you more time, dealing with very common things, like things you always send out after a meeting. So for example, I created a email template earlier, and I can insert a template. And as you see, the template has some merge fields, right? So for example, I want to insert the contact name of this opportunity, and I can preview. I can do a preview before I send it out, right? So now it says, hi, Linda O'Connor, thanks, Pat Jones, right? Those are all generated from the email template. Again, it really increases your productivity as a sales rep. Now, since we're working on tasks, let's take a look at the improved task experience. Like I mentioned in the slides, we have a task icon in the left navigation menu. So you can quickly access a list of your tasks. And we have a 2-column layout. You see more information. So for example, if I need to send out a proposal, right, I can see exactly who I need to send this to. I need to follow up the proposal with Linda. I can see the opportunity here. And that's just a click away. I can even just hover over and see a quick highlight about the opportunity or the contact, right? I can see before I call Linda or reach out to Linda, maybe she logged a case that I need to know, right? So I can directly get those information without navigating away from this task list. And if I'm done with the task, I can just quickly mark it as done. And I can also see different views of my task, right? For example, I want to see a list of the delegated tasks I created and assigned to other people. I can also see that from this task list. Okay, so last but not least, I want to show you the brand new calendar UI. Again, this is a brand new UI that we created in Winter 16. It's just a better user experience and better view for you to, with a quick glance, know exactly what's happening this week, what are the things that you need to do, right? And again, you can expect things like switching between a day view, the week view. You can just quickly hover over an event and see some quick highlights, and then you can go into more detail. And of course, you can create an event directly from the calendar as well. So let's recap what we just did. So I walked into a meeting. I quickly created some meeting notes. All my notes are auto-saved. I relay that note to all the relevant records, right? And on the record page, I can directly send an email to my main contact right there and then. I can include a Salesforce files in Salesforce right there. And I have a improved task experience that really saved me a lot of time to power through all my tasks. And I have a new calendar view to help me understand what I need to do today. Again, we did all that without leaving the new Lightning desktop experience. So I think that's pretty exciting stuff. Mike?
Excellent. I love so much of what you showed me because, I mean, this hits everybody in the day-to-day activity section. I mean, the calendar, the tasks. I mean, these are things that we experience most on a day-to-day basis. So I cannot wait to hear what our customers are saying about what you just showed them. Elna, what are we hearing out there in the social world?
We're hearing a few things, yeah. And actually quite a few shout outs. Carol loves relating notes to more than one object. That's definitely a high five on that one. She says it'll be so helpful. And Reba is asking, will tasks and activities roll up easily to the record owner's manager? And will the activity appear in both places, on the opportunity and on the account?
Well, the good thing is that we have the activity PM sitting right next to me.
Yeah, so for tasks and activities, when they are related to either an opportunity or a contact, it will roll up properly up to the account.
Yeah.
Just as it does today, correct?
Yes.
Yes, thank you. And can tasks be on the calendar, Jean is asking?
Not at the moment. Right now, calendar is just events, but look out for what's coming up.
All right. And with notes, can you create a custom footer component in the Salesforce console for notes?
Can you create a custom photo component?
Footer
A footer component. No, so right now the note experience is not customizable, but I'll be interested to know what are the specific use cases that your organization needs.
And again, another great example of a good use case for the idea exchange.
Correct.
If you have a good idea, please submit it.
Absolutely.
And Carol's also asking, is the new note-taking reportable?
Good question, and I'm gonna let you know a little secret. The new note experience is actually built on top of Salesforce files. So a note is really under the hood, a type of Salesforce files. And as you may know, Salesforce files is reportable, so you can report on notes using the out-of-box files and contents reports.
All right, I'm going to refresh the feed one more time. Florence, will the new calendar include the ability to send out meeting invites?
Not at this time. Not at this time, but definitely something we're working toward.
Definitely join Release Readiness in the success community where you can start beefing up on upcoming releases.
Right.
Will reply emails show up in the activity log? Arnie is asking. Do we need to sync Outlook with Salesforce? And there's also a related question about Office 365. So
Right.
Well,
there's a package for you there. To
just to fill in for context here, we actually do have some recorded materials that people can find on salesforce.com/release readiness that speak specifically towards Salesforce for Outlook and our Microsoft partnership.
Excellent. So we should be tweeting that out then soon, right?
Yeah. But the new email experience that I show, basically when you send out an email, it sends out, the recipient is gonna see the email comes from your email account. And then basically we take all that content and then we create a email log in the timeline.
Right. And Soleil is asking about syncing with Google Apps. So what are the recommendations for that? Does that change? Or is it the same?
Nothing has changed. I think that will be another good topic during one of those Microsoft versus Google discussion.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right.
All right, Ellen, I think anything else we can leave till the end of the session just to make sure that we are giving enough love to everybody that we have. But thank you so much, Andy. I think so far we've covered a great deal in terms of managing leads, opportunities, managing productivity. Everything we've been talking about has been sort of talking around the idea of managing sales. So why don't we stop talking around it and start talking right to it? And for that, we've got David Louis.
Thank you. So sales management and what I'm going to talk about encompasses data sets. Meredith and Robin showed you how to work on individual opportunities, accounts, and contacts, and I'll show you how to work on lists and data sets of those types of objects. First up, we have list views. And list views, we've revamped and revisited and enhanced the experience as well to make users much more productive. So some examples of that include, on the left, you'll see list view filters. And those list view filters will now be sorted in most recently used order, and you can use type ahead in order to search your list views. On the right side, you have modules such as data visualizations. So when you're working on a list, you can pop out that data visualization in order to see what your data is about. One of my favorite ways to view data, in particular opportunity data in Lightning Experience, is the new pipeline board. So I'll show you in a demo how interactive it is, but to give you a little bit of highlight on what you're looking at right here, you see your opportunities for a particular view. You're seeing sales stages in your company, how many opportunities are in each sales stage, what the sum of their amounts are, and each card represents an opportunity and some of the key data. So with this board, you can drag and drop to update, and you get notifications if any of these particular opportunities need your attention right now. Dashboards. The mic drop moment for dashboards is that we've listened to the idea exchange, and we've retired an 83,000 point idea, which is over 3 columns of dashboard components. And creating these dashboards and rearranging them has also been significantly improved. You can drag and drop, resize, things like that. So any heavy users of dashboards, either usage or configuration, will really appreciate what we've done for dashboards in Lightning Experience. And reports. The key innovation in reports is we made them much more interactive. So you can pop out a filter component and filter in real time report data. And in addition, we've also updated some of the visualizations on reports as well, so you can update the first graph that you see. So rather than talk about it, I'd like to show some of these innovations. So first up, we have the opportunity list view. And on each of the rows in a list view, you can do things like edit and delete, so row level actions are here. I can do sorting on columns. Here's what I was talking about list views. So if I start to type in here, it filters down my lists. So let's take a look at the My Big Opportunities list view. If I pop open here, here are the filters that I was talking about. So I can see here are the opportunities by stage, by account. And with these types of visualizations, I can change the visualization from line to donut, to suit how I like to see my data. If you want to see the board view, here it is right here. And I can drag and drop opportunities to update. The totals get updated dynamically. If you see here, I can drag and drop a card to closed one. If I actually lost a deal, I can drag this here, but we'll never do that. One common question we always get on this pipeline board is actually, hey, if I have validation on my opportunities to transition between sales stages, will that be honored? And the answer is yes. Validations are honored. So when I drag and drop, those validations are being called. If I take a look at some of these notifications, in this opportunity, it's saying there are no open tasks. So let's create one from right here. And when I save that, the notification went away because now I've actually created an open task. So that is the list view and the Kanban board. Next, I'll show you dashboards, the pipeline board. So here's a 3-column dashboard, and as I was mentioning, each of the visualizations for the dashboards has been updated. So donut charts have been updated, so have the lines and the metrics. As a user or as an admin, I can edit this dashboard, and as I promised, you can drag and drop these components, resize. So here's a 4-column dashboard, and if you see those grid lines in the back, that's how I know that I can create up to 9 columns of components. So if I make these really skinny, I can fit up to 9 in a row. Reports, I want to show you a key report. So here's the report that I was mentioning. Here's a visualization, a chart, and same as on the dashboard or on the filters, I can edit the visualization right here. I can hide these if I like seeing a lot of dense data. And here are the filters that I was talking about where I can update these filters in real time. And the filters get applied to the report. And so we've made editing a report and filtering it down data a lot easier. We've simplified from probably about 5 or 6 clicks down to 2. And if I need more information, I can dismiss this filter and see more info. So that is my demo of list views, pipeline board, dashboards, and reports. And now we're ready for some questions if there are any.
Oh, just a couple. You can take one guess as to what is the hottest news that everybody's saying woot woot and so awesome about.
The board, the pipeline board.
That
Dashboards.
Dashboard columns. 3 columns. Yes, that's definitely the winner for this session. So, some related questions. Can you create new list views within the Lightning UI?
Yes, there is actually a pilot of creating list views. So if you need it on, just call up support, ask them to turn it on, and they'll get turned on.
So that's a
alternatively, you can also switch back to the classic UI as well. Create edit list views there as well.
So you can just switch back and forth on the fly?
Yes, that's actually one thing we didn't cover in terms of the overall general navigation. And so one thing to note when rolling out Lightning Experience is that you can deploy Lightning Experience to certain pods of users, and those users do have the ability to switch back and forth from Lightning Experience to Classic UI.
Excellent. So if you're more comfortable with the older interface, and you just more quickly set things up there and then flip back to actually see it. Mm-hmm. Excellent. So Stacy also loving the more than 3 columns and wants to know, is there a limit to the number of components on a dashboard, and what is that limit?
We fielded that question before, huh? And it's still maintained at, what was it, 20 components is the max on a dashboard?
Yeah.
So more flexible in how you lay it out than sideways, not all up and down, right? So any changes to scheduled reports, Carrie is asking. And what about refreshes to dashboards? Any changes in those areas?
No, not in those areas. So what we've supported in the past, we can support now as well.
And shout out to Jessica. She's a woot woot for the dashboard columns. And I'm going to refresh the feed one more time because questions are flowing in as we speak.
Okay, well, we can give those questions just another minute because I do believe, above and beyond what we've covered so far, we do actually have a little more information to share in the form of a little roadmap info. Is that right, Robin?
Yes. So we hope that you have really been excited about what you've seen today. You know, this has been really a Herculean effort within Salesforce, certainly within the Sales Cloud and platform, to bring you all these great capabilities in the Lightning experience. As we started out with saying, you know, this is really just our first step. And so we want to give you a sneak peek as to what is coming next. So I'll just remind you of our safe harbor statement. This is all subject to change, but want to let you guys know where we're going. First and foremost, we're going to continue to double down and bring additional functionality to Lightning Experience. This isn't going to be taking objects that exist in the classic UI, giving them a little facelift, and putting them into the new Lightning Experience. We are taking this opportunity, really as we did with the first version of Lightning, to rethink how sales reps work and bring that same kind of productivity that you saw today into each of these objects as we bring them in, as we bring them over. So some areas where we'll be doing that. Account and opportunity teams, those aren't available in Lightning today, but they will be in the future. And this roadmap is something that we're hoping to tackle in the next 2, maybe even 3 releases. So it's going to be a journey for us. So account and opportunity teams, opportunity products. You can add products to opportunities today, but we want to give you a way to be able to add multiple products at once and give you a cool shopping cart type of experience. Campaigns and campaign members, campaign ROI, all of that great campaign functionality will be coming to Lightning, as well as person accounts. It's actually something we're hoping to be able to release to you in the next release, Safe Harbor, but things are looking good for us there. And then shared contacts. Shared contacts has been a multi-release effort, and this is something that'll be available both for Lightning as well as the classic UI. And this is the ability to have a single contact associated to multiple accounts. Really big, heavy lifting, big feature, and something we're working hard on. And lastly, forecasting. We've made a huge investment in collaborative forecasting. It's near and dear to my heart. I managed that project or that product for several years. And so we're working on bringing that into Lightning as well, but not just bringing over the existing UI, really taking it to the next level by including charts and visualizations as you've seen elsewhere. So those are some of the meat and potatoes that we're going to continue to bring in. But we're also going to invest heavily in productivity. I think we've done an amazing job bringing productivity to Lightning, and we're not going to stop. We're going to allow you to customize the homepage and really make it your own. We're going to improve upon the email experience. It's pretty darn good now. I will point out there was a question, I think, about Gmail. We do want to do a better job integrating with Gmail and Office 365 so that when you send an email from Salesforce, it actually also goes to your sent items box in your email client. We want to bring in a docked composer so that sending an email is just a click away wherever you are in the application. So look for those things to come. Calendar management. Andy gave you a great demo on the calendar, but we'd like to also not just show you Salesforce events, but be able to show you other calendars, maybe even Salesforce objects. So if you could take all of your opportunities by close date, plot them on a calendar, let you see that visualization. We think that'd be a killer use case, or marketing campaigns and maybe not a day view, but multi-month view, see how your marketing campaigns are tracking. Really cool stuff to come in the area of calendar management. And also really the activity timeline, awesome. We want to bring more to it. We want to allow you to search. We want to allow you to filter. Maybe you just want to see emails, or you just want to see completed tasks. Those are the types of capabilities that'll become available in the next several releases. So we're excited.
Great.
Stay tuned.
Yeah, and I think you really hit the nail on the head at the beginning when you referred to it as a journey. And based on a lot of the things that we were showing today and some of the things that you just showed on the roadmap, we have a really exciting journey set up for our customers. So, just to make sure we're giving them enough of a voice, Elna, last call for social media. Is there anything else that they're saying, or any other questions that they have that we can do them a favor by answering while we're live?
Well, I was wondering if you want to talk about the Lightning resources that are available first, and then dive into the final questions.
Yeah,
Does that sound good? Let me know when there should be an image on your screen there. So we have some great resources for you to learn more about Lightning Experience, because there's a lot out there. So first of all, head over to Trailhead, where you can learn the basics through some short, fun, and interactive guides. Really fun over there. And then register for our Lightning Experience feature-focused webinars. These will give you a deeper dive and an opportunity to participate in live Q&A again. So finally, also join us in the Release Readiness and Feature Adoption group in the Success community, where you can post questions anytime, and we're there for you all year round. I think now we're ready to go over to questions. And we do have quite a few questions left over from the previous sections and a couple of new ones that came in.
Great.
So I think I'm going to go back a little bit to some of the earlier sections here and ask a little bit about sales path. One question from Vinaj is, can you have multiple sales paths defined for your org?
You certainly can. For both leads and opportunities, you can have multiple sales paths. When you set up a sales path, you can do it on a per record type basis. So if you have 5 record types, you could set up 5 different sales paths.
Excellent. And Mike, a shout out for your lapel pin. I guess that means
Shout
our
out to the
video is
cloud.
coming through clear, right?
Good to know.
And where can you customize the sales process for leads and opportunities in Lightning? Where is that located?
So it's it's the same sales process and lead process as it is today. That's where you set up your, what the pick list values are that you want to have available in a process. It's all the same as it is today. Now, where you set up the fields and the text that you want to appear under each stage or status, you do in a new node under setup called sales path. So look for sales path under setup to do that.
All right. And if you have Classic only, can you enable Sales Path, or do you need to turn on Lightning?
You do need to be using Lightning for Sales Path to display on the desktop. Sales Path is available for opportunities only via Salesforce One. So if you're a mobile user, you're using Salesforce One, you're using the Classic UI, you can enable Sales Path for your mobile experience.
Excellent. And one question, just general question, how do you turn it on? How do you get Lightning to be available to your users?
There is a new node in setup for all of Lightning. I'm sure we're going to cover that in the next section. But it's a preference. So you'll enable it for your org, and once you've enabled it for your org, you can then take the next step to decide who within your org. Is it a single user? Is it a group of users? Is it all users? So I know we'll touch on that in the next section. But really, you as administrators have complete control as to how, when, and who gets the new experience.
And as you said, you can flip back and forth.
Absolutely.
So if you're using Lightning for Sales Path, you can be using Classic for one of your other tabs.
You got it.
Got
And
it.
the release has been deployed to all of the sandboxes. So for the developers and admins out there with sandboxes, we highly encourage you to just try it out.
Right. And Carol is asking about record history. Is that still available in Lightning? And where can you see fields that you have history tracking enabled?
So record history is still available. It's not exposed in Lightning, so it's one of those areas that we haven't brought forward into the Lightning experience yet. But all of field history, record history, all of that's done at the API level behind the scenes. So that would be a great example of maybe using Lightning for sales. And if you would want to report on or view that kind of history, you would toggle over to the Classic UI to do that.
Yeah, plus if you have field tracking turned on, it'll show up in Chatter as well. If it showed up in Chatter in Classic, it'll show up in Chatter in Lightning experience as well.
All right, and I think you touched on person accounts in your roadmap section. So
Yes.
A couple of people asked about that, so thank you very much for covering that.
Yes.
And Andrea she's asking, you said validation rules would be honored with drag and drop, but what if there are required fields? Let's say if you're moving to closed one and you have a validation rule that requires certain fields to be filled in.
It's a tricky one. So there's actually a couple different ways you can make something required. Really common is a validation rule. And as David said, they're absolutely honored, whether it's in Sales Path, whether it's in the pipeline board. If you drag and drop, if you're updating the stage and you've set up a validation rule, we will prevent that progression and we'll display the error message. The user can address it and then move forward. If, however, you're using something called a dependent pick list with a requiredness on the page layout, it's a little bit tricky, a little bit more technical, and so I want to take up a lot of time on it. But that's actually something that's not available in the Lightning experience. It's something that we're working toward filling that gap in the future.
Right,
But towards just that very specific
That very specific, a dependent pick list with a required field on the page layout that won't be surfaced in Lightning.
And again, Dennis is asking about moving stages moving opportunities between stages. What actually happens to the forecast category when you drag and drop?
All of that's honored, so it'll update the stage, and if the next stage is mapped to a different forecast category, that'll be updated behind the scenes. That'll be updated on the record. You'll be good to go.
All right. custom buttons, any comment on those, how that's handled? Or should we wait for this afternoon for that one?
Yes, custom buttons will be available. I think there's some caveats there, which the team can share later today.
Right, so NZ, join us this afternoon for that one. And are the next tasks related to workflows?
In the activity timeline, yeah, you do see a next steps item there. And what that's actually mapping to for users of Classic is the open activities list. So next steps aren't necessarily tied to workflow. Right. Next steps is just the renamed open activities related data.
But if a workflow creates a task for a user, an open task, that will show up in...
Yeah, it'll be honored. Yep.
Beautiful.
So what about existing page layouts? What if you have worked really hard on creating these page layouts and you turn on Lightning? What's going to happen to those page layouts?
We will honor them. I think that, the exception there, or not the exception, but the caveat is open activities and activity history. If those are on your layout, which for most people they are, those are now represented in the timeline. So you won't see the distinct related list as you do today. But everything else, should come over really seamlessly. The same order of the related list will be respected. Now, not all objects are available in Lightning. So let me give you an example. Opportunity splits. Opportunity splits is not available in Lightning. It's something that's on our roadmap. If that's a related list on your opportunity, it won't show up in Lightning, even though it is on your page layout. So there are some deltas there.
Or like campaign history on leads and contacts. That's another example.
Great example, yeah.
Right. So if you are really excited about using Sales Path, you're going to roll it out for leads and opportunities, and you say, I love this interface, I want to use it somewhere else. Can I use it on other objects? Can I use custom objects in Lightning? What are my choices there?
On the roadmap, as we said, this is a journey. We've worked long and hard to bring you this, and so we've definitely heard requests for things like Sales Path or maybe even the board view on other objects. So we're evaluating that. Let us know. Certainly post ideas. We'll really that'll help inform our roadmap. But at this time, that's not available.
And notes on mobile. How about notes on mobile?
It's on mobile. People take notes all the time. We want to make sure it's cross-platform. So this new note experience is available in Salesforce 1. So you have a consistent experience across your phone, tablet, and desktop. And actually on mobile, you have some cool features on Salesforce 1 as well. For example, right inside of a note, you can do a swipe gesture to create a follow-up item. So basically take actions right after your meeting a lot quicker.
Great. And what about reporting on notes? That's the same as files, correct? And actually, I think there was a related question about, so if it's a file, does it get counted within your file storage limit?
It is. It is part of the file content data storage, yes.
Now, what if you want to have multiple calendars? Can you manage multiple calendars on one screen?
Right now, we only support one calendar, but multiple calendar is, like Robin showed on the roadmap slide, it is on our short-term roadmap right now.
All right, great. And can you configure the fields that appear in the opportunity card in the pipeline board?
Absolutely. So as David showed you, the pipeline board is really a list view. Behind the scenes, it's a list view. You access it via the opportunity list view. So what we do is we take the first 4 columns of your list view and display those in a card. So you can certainly change that if you want different fields to be on the card. You just move the order of the columns in the list view.
Now, I know a lot of people use collaborative forecasting.
Yes.
And a lot of them are asking, when is X coming? When is X going to be supported? And one of the items high on the list, and you can probably guess, is custom fiscal years.
Yes.
You want to talk a little bit about that?
With each of these release readiness webinars, we've had to say, it's on the roadmap, we'll get there, and this time it's actually coming. Our development teams are working on it as we speak, as you're watching this. So custom fiscal year, safe harbor, of course, because things can change, but custom fiscal year support for collaborative forecasts is targeted for our spring release. So just around the corner, and we hope you guys are excited about it as well.
All right, Ellen, I think we have time for one more question.
I think I've got everything that I see here on the feed. So I think we covered most questions. If we didn't cover your question, don't worry. We're saving all the questions and we'll be responding in Twitter or wherever you posted your question. Great. So I think I'll hand it back to you for closing this session, and I hope everybody joins us again this afternoon.
All right, thanks, Elna. Well, guys, that's about all we had for today's session on the Sales Cloud. As a reminder, you can catch all of our recordings on www.salesforce.com/release readiness. As an added bonus, as I mentioned before, you can find some additional release readiness content in terms of our partnership with Microsoft, from our Wave Analytics team, and more, just to make sure that we are keeping you up to date with absolutely everything that we can related to Winter 16. So we hope you enjoyed the show today. As always, we would love to hear your feedback for how we can improve this experience for you, our viewers. So please take the short survey that's going to be linked right here underneath the screen that you're using to watch this webcast right now. And for everybody who fills out a survey, we will be entering you into a drawing to win one of 25 Salesforce hoodies we'll be giving away this release. So we look forward to seeing you this afternoon. We'll be back here at 11:45 a.m. PST, live for our session on the App Cloud. Until then, this has been Mike Torres for Salesforce, wishing you all the best and success.